You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome into the Outspoken Sportscast. This is your host, Brian, and it is episode 100. How fitting. This is going to be the last episode this week, the last episode of the year. We had Christmas last week. We'll get into that in a little bit. We didn't have an episode last weekend because Christmas, and this is New Year's. We've got a lot going on here at the Watson household and busy with family, so we won't have this one this weekend. I'm here to give you your NFL Week 16 update. We had a lot of stuff going on. We had games on Christmas Day. We'll get into. We had a murder on live TV. I don't know if you guys watched that one. We had a bunch of interesting games. We had some playoff shakeup. We'll get into a little bit of everything going forward here on this episode. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. Mine was fantastic, and it fell on a Saturday, so we had a nice weekend off. My job never stops, so when I work every day except Christmas, or every holiday except Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's. That's it. Trash business never comes to an end, so we work as much as possible. And I was talking a little bit about it last week. When Christmas or a holiday falls during the week, it's kind of stressful for us because we got to pick up that day's trash throughout the week and make up for it, and it becomes stressful. But it being on the weekend, it's not so bad. So it's been nice and relaxing to get a full weekend off and spend time with the family. We'll get into my Christmas here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into the NFL week. We had Jimmy Garoppolo cost the 49ers a win against Tennessee. It came out that he is actually injured. He has a broken thumb and a torn ligament on his throwing hand. He probably won't play next week. I don't know when he'll be back. I don't know how bad it is. Those are reports that broke today. Is that the reason why he was so bad? He single-handedly cost them this game. The 49ers looked pretty good on defense. They only gave up 20 points. Jimmy Garoppolo kept throwing the ball to the other team and turning over the football in horrible situations, who kept the Titans in this game as the 49ers fall. And it's really a time that they can't lose games. They're fighting for a playoff spot. They were heating up. People were talking about, man, the 49ers are dangerous and you do not want to face them in the playoffs. And then Jimmy Garoppolo does what Jimmy Garoppolo does and loses them the game. So then on Christmas Day, you had the Packers, and I was upset at first because I didn't think I was gonna be able to watch this game. I thought it was only on NFL Network. I don't have the NFL Network because AT&T doesn't have I use DirecTV. I have DirecTV Stream, but they don't have NFL Network. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to watch this game. But it was on Fox 4, and it was on Fox, and I was able to watch it. And I'm going to go on a rant here a little bit about Packers and Packer fans. And like Baker Mayfield threw 4 interceptions. We won 24-22. We won. We should have won by more. We did not play well on defense. We did not play well on offense. We looked sluggish. We looked like crap. We still got the victory, which counts, but we cannot expect to play that way and go and get the ultimate goal at the end of the year of the Super Bowl if we play this way. Cleveland, Baker throws 4 interceptions. We didn't take advantage of them. Cleveland rushed for over 219 yards against us. We were an open door up the middle there, running the ball. They were able to do whatever they wanted to us. We looked soft on defense. My rant is for all you Packer fans on Facebook who are, oh, well, we won the game, so you shouldn't be complaining. I am not okay with that mindset. Look, we watch those teams. We have expectations going into each year. During the season, those expectations change on how you're playing and your record and everything going forward. We're the number 1 seed in the NFC. Did we look like it on Saturday when we played the Browns? Definitely did not. It's called about expectations. Yeah, we won, but we better get better, because if we don't get better fast, we're going to get the Minnesota Vikings are going to run all over us on Sunday. We don't get better, we don't get the number 1 seed. We will lose against the Vikings. Heck, the way we played, I could see us losing against the Lions. They play us tough anyways. It's about expectations. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, you're complaining, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. Expectations. Having the right expectations is the key. And I expect Green Bay to go far in the playoffs. I expect us to have a shot to go to the Super Bowl. We had Aaron Rodgers. We've been playing really good this year. This is the time of year where we need to step up our game and go into the playoffs on a playing great. We'll go in on a winning streak if we don't lose the next 2. I get that. But it's expectations. You cannot show up to the playoffs like we did playing the Browns. We will get punched in the mouth and be sent home early. If we stay the first seed, we'll get the bye. But we've got to step it up. This defense has been really good this year. They dropped off the last 2 or 3 weeks. And that is not we cannot have that happen. Bottom line, it is time to put the foot to the pedal and don't let up. All gas and no freaking brakes, like Coach LaFleur said. This is the time to show that our offense looked abysmal. Our defense looked horrendous. And we still have special teams issues. We've got to step it up. Okay? That was abysmal. You cannot... A win's a win, but you cannot be satisfied with the way we played on Sunday or Saturday this last week. You cannot be satisfied with it. And if you are, you're the wrong kind of fan. Okay? You want to tell me that I'm not a true fan because I criticize my team, but I criticize my team because I see these things we need to work on. I'm a real fan because I criticize my team. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not here being a homer. I'll tell you what I feel about my own team. Green Bay's performance on Saturday was inexcusable. Yes, we won. I get it. Inexcusable. They've got to play better, and I'm looking to see, and hopefully they can bounce back, especially this defense coming up against the Vikings. That was my little rant of the day. Sorry about that. Let's see. We got the Colts are heating up as they take down the much cooler Cardinals. The Cardinals have went from the number 1 seed a couple weeks ago. Now they are the 4th, or actually the 5th seed. Right now, the Colts with this win gets them up to the 5th seed. They're in the playoffs. I think they control their own destiny. The Cardinals are cooling off. A team that was super hot in the beginning. And then after Green Bay beat them, they've kind of messed around and lost some games here. They play the Cowboys coming up this week. This is going to be a game for them, the Cardinals, to prove to us that they still got something. If they can go into Dallas and beat the Dallas Cowboys, then we'll be like, okay. I think we'll be like, okay, maybe the Cardinals they still got something, but they're falling off at the wrong time. They still got a good record. They're still going to make the playoffs, but the Rams have not taken over their division, and the Colts look really good going into the playoffs. This is a team that I think could upset some people. They got a good running game. They're well balanced. They got a good defense, and this is a team that just beat the Cardinals, and they were depleted on the offensive line. They've been depleted with COVID. Carson Wentz is actually, I saw this today, he's actually on COVID protocol. He's unvaccinated, so there's 10 days. He'll probably miss this. He'll miss this weekend, and that could be a loss for them, and that might push them out of the playoffs. I'm not exactly sure on where that's going to put them. But COVID right now is running rampant in multiple sports, and it is an issue. And it might come down to, and I know it sucks, who wins the Super Bowl is who has the most non-COVID players, I guess you could say. So, but it's a bad time for that to be happening. But Carson Wentz is out with COVID. But look, they were heating up. They got a good defense. They got a great rushing attack, as some has called for Jonathan Taylor to be the MVP, which he won't get it. Running back will never get the MVP. Neither will Cooper Kupp with the wide receiver. But they're heating up going into it, and the Cardinals are falling off. This is a desperate win, I think, for the Cardinals to get back on that winning way, to prove to themselves this coming Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys that they still got it, that they can still beat good teams and find their way into the playoffs with some momentum and some confidence. Because I think they're missing a little bit of confidence. They're missing DeAndre Hopkins, who might be back for the playoffs, who might not. They're missing some other players, but there's not excuses, right? Most teams are missing players due to COVID, due to injury. We're not healthy. I'm not using it as an excuse. It's just the facts. Rams take care of the Vikings 30-23 as Matthew Stafford looked bad. He threw 3 interceptions in this game. The Vikings still couldn't take advantage of that. Like the Packers had 4, and they didn't take advantage of it. But the Vikings did not come away with the victory there. They scored some late. They scored 10 points late in that game to keep it somewhat close. The Rams are they're winning. They're winning their division right now. They took over the Arizona Cardinals, headed into the playoffs. You got to see Matthew Stafford be better, be more consistent. Throwing 3 picks against a playoff team, you're probably not going to win. So he's got to clean that up a little bit for the Rams, I think. But they never gave up. They kept fighting, and the Cardinals control the division for the most part. The Rams have taken it over, and we'll see going into the playoffs who they're going to face. The Buffalo Bills looked like the Buffalo Bills we actually thought they could be this season. They go into Foxborough. They need this win more than almost anybody this week. They get the job done. They beat the Patriots, who takes over. The Bills take over that division. It drops the Pats to the 6th seed, and Buffalo looked really good in this game. They controlled the Patriots offense. They controlled a lot, and Mac Jones has done a pretty good job with the Patriots, and I think that's a little bit of an understatement. And he's been the only rookie quarterback to come out and look really well this season, but he's also had the most opportunity. But you look at him. I don't think competing in a game where it's high scoring and it all has to fall on Mac Jones' shoulders, I don't think he can get the job done just yet. And I'm not trying to kill Mac Jones. It's his rookie year. I say he's done a pretty dang good job for what he was coming out of college, going into Bill Belichick's system and working with the team he has. They have a fantastic defense who helps out. They got a good running back, and they're going to take care of there in New England. But Josh Allen and the Bills looked like the better team. They showed up. They played really, really well. Josh Allen took over this game. He used his legs the way he needed to. He iced the game with his legs and making the right decisions to when to run and when not to run. And they looked really, really good. They look like the Bills we thought they were going to be last year. The Bills kind of jumped off the page and like, man, the Buffalo Bills look like they could go to the Super Bowl. Some projected them to be Super Bowl contenders this season and actually make it to the Super Bowl. They could still be that team, I think, but they haven't looked as consistent as we wanted them to be this year. So that bodes, it bodes well to see them winning now and winning games that they need to, beating good teams, and doing it at the end of the year when you're going into the playoffs. And once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. So Buffalo Bills, good job on the win on Sunday. The Chargers blow it against the Texans, man. What a bad loss this is for them. If they won this game, they would have been well off into the playoff spot. But they lost this game to the Texans. They blow it. They absolutely blow it. And this team has been so up and down, and they've always have been, as a franchise, a team that's always had good talent, but can't put it all together. And I thought maybe this would be the year with Herbert coming in there. He looked really good last year. He's looked okay this season. He's had some games where he's looked great. Had some games where he's thrown over a lot of interceptions. This is a game where they just didn't show up. They showed up and they thought they could just beat the Texans by just showing up, and the Texans didn't back down. The Texans smacked them in the mouth, and this is a game that they're going to want back, because if they miss the playoffs, this is the game that put them out, and this is the one that they should have won. I thought they were ready for the spotlight. I thought this after last season, they're going to step in this year. Herbert's going to have a fantastic season, and they're going to step into the spotlight and make the playoffs and be good. But clearly they're not there yet. They're not there yet. Something's missing. Some consistency's missing. They got the new head coach there. So his first year, not bad, but I want to see more consistency out of this team. I want to be able to see Justin Herbert clean up the mistakes a little bit and be able to be consistent and win the games you should win against Houston. The Bengals dismantle an already dismantled Ravens team, 41-21. The Ravens were on their third string quarterback. They've been the most injured team this season as far as I can think of. They lost all the running backs in preseason and training camp. And so this team has been through the ringer this year. Lamar Jackson's out. Huntley comes in, almost beats Green Bay. He's out with COVID. You have to do the third string quarterback in a time where you need to win these games. They are on the bubble. They've actually fallen out of the playoff spot with Miami winning last night. I don't think the Ravens are going to make the playoffs. Their odds are very, very slim. But it's a bad time to have to depend on your third string quarterback, and that sucks for them. They'll get it figured out next year, but the Bengals dismantle them. Joe Burrow had over 500 passing yards. It's the fourth most passing yards ever thrown in NFL history. Joe Burrow looks like that guy. I love Joe Burrow. I might get me a Joe Burrow Cincinnati jersey because I like him so much. I followed him coming out of LSU. And when they picked him up, I was excited to see them turn around this franchise. And it looks like they're on that way. They're in the playoffs right now. They're leading that division. I hope the Bengals go in. And they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl this year. But I hope they go in and play a little bit of upset in the playoffs and show that, hey, we're for real. They got a decent defense. They got a good running game. They got Jamar Chase. And they got Joe freaking Burrow throwing the ball all over the place. I really like this team. And I'm rooting for them to go far. The Bears beat Seattle 25-24. It's a sad inning for Russell Wilson, and we still got 2 games left, but this is the first time Russell Wilson's ever had a losing season in his career since joining in the NFL. Russell Wilson will be gone next year. Now, whether the Seattle totally blows it up and gets rid of Pete Carroll too, which I think they should, Russell Wilson is, to me, more gone out of this team than Aaron Rodgers is. Let me say that again. It's a foregone conclusion that Russell Wilson, okay, is gone from Seattle. He's not coming back. He knows he can't win another ring here. He knows his time is up. He doesn't agree with the future of this franchise. They're going through a rebuild right now, basically. This team is not good enough to win, and he doesn't want to be there for it, and I don't blame him. Okay? I don't blame him for it. I think, though, nothing will get him back to Seattle, and he will be gone next year somewhere else. Aaron Rodgers' situation is a little different because we're actually winning. 2 straight NFC Championship games. We'll see what we do this season. He'll probably be gone next year. I'm already have my mindset that he's gone, but I think right now it's more of a 100% that Russell Wilson is leaving Seattle than is Aaron Rodgers is leaving Green Bay. But Seattle needs to blow it up, get rid of Pete Carroll. His mindset, his old school mindset, it does not work in the NFL nowadays, and they have been completely terrible this year. And I projected this at the beginning of the year that Seattle would be the worst team in that division, and they will finish last in the division. I'll pat myself on the back for that one. But yeah, Bears drive down when Nick Foles started his game, drive down, score the touchdown, hit the 2-point conversion, and win the game. It was a pretty good inning. All right, guys. I don't know if you saw this, but the Cowboys murdered the Washington football team Sunday night. Murdered them. Now I'm in bed. I don't stay up and watch games because I got to get up at 2, 1, 2, 12 sometimes in the morning to go to work on Monday, and I don't do it unless it's Green Bay. But I got up in the morning. Let me see the score. I know Cowboys are going to win. The Washington football team's crappy. I look, and I had a double take and wipe my eyes, like 56-14. My goodness. I went to work and I told the people there, man, y'all didn't have to beat them like that. Did y'all have to do them that dirty? Woo. You know, the Washington football team were dumb enough to bring their own Washington benches to Dallas because Dallas brought their benches to Washington. So it's this petty little stupid thing that they both did. Now, Dallas did it because it was colder and the Washington's benches didn't have heated seats and they weren't working. I get that. Washington just did it to be petty. That if you're in a closed arena, I think the roof was open, but it's like 80 degrees here right now, so there's no point of bringing your benches to Dallas. So they just did it to be dumb, and they got their butts kicked and looked like an embarrassment on national TV. It was a murder. They straight up 42-0 or 40. If they scored 42 points in the first half, they should have threw in the white towel. Someone should have came in, threw the white towel in, and said, "Guys, we've had enough." Washington football team has had enough. Like, we're not even playing the second half. We won 42 to whatever we scored, and head out. The Washington was fighting themselves on the sideline. Dumb, just dumb. I don't think they had to do them like that. That was dirty. They scored on special teams. They scored on defense. They scored on offense. Everything was working great for the Dallas Cowboys. They dominated in every aspect and area of the football game. Couldn't ask for a better game. And when the season first started with the Dallas Cowboys, look, I'll tell you an honest opinion. From what happened last season, I didn't think much of the Dallas Cowboys. I always expect them to win their division because their division's trash, right? The Eagles aren't good. The Giants are a peewee football team. I mean, they are so lethargic on offense; it's pathetic. And the Washington football team is is a poor ran organization who's not consistent enough as a football team. Tyler Heineke's not your guy. They half their defense is out on the defensive line. They got a lot of issues. The Dallas Cowboys should win this division by default. I tell my buddies that. You got a horrible division. You should win it easily. If you don't win your division this year with a healthy Dak Prescott, your coach should be fired. That's what I thought. You come in off of the worst defense you've had in Dallas history. They hired Dan Quinn. Okay, let's see what he can do. He ran a great defense up in Seattle. He got his team to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. They blew the biggest lead in the history of the NFL or the history of the Super Bowl. Let's see what he can do. This team starting off the first half of the season looked fantastic. So wow, the Dallas Cowboys. This is the first time I've said this in a long time. Were Super Bowl contenders. They are for real. And then they kind of fell off. And they would still win games, but if something looked off. The offense struggled. Dak was in a slump. If you were to tell me this defense this season is what's winning games for the Dallas Cowboys, I would have laughed at you. But they're playing fantastic. They got everybody back and healthy right now on defense. Micah Parsons looks to be the defensive player of the year. I was having an argument, not an argument, but a discussion on Facebook a couple weeks ago about the defensive player of the year. And he's definitely the defensive rookie of the year. I don't know about defensive player of the year, but he could be that. Diggs could be that. He's had 11 interceptions. It's the first time that's happened in over 40 years. Okay. That's a big deal. Now he does allow a lot of yards, but he's a wide receiver playing cornerback. This guy is a ball hawk. Shutdown cornerback, not yet. Well, can he get there? Yes, he can, I think. He's a wide receiver playing cornerback, and if you make an error pass, he will be there to get it. This Dallas Cowboy team, and I know you got to take everything with a grain of salt, right? You got to take a grain of salt that you beat up on a bad Washington football team. You got to kind of balance that scale. If the Dallas Cowboy football team plays like they did on Sunday night, they can beat anybody. They can. They can beat Green Bay. They can beat Tampa Bay. They can beat the Chiefs. They can beat anybody if they play that way. The question is, will they play that way? Are they consistent enough to play that way every game? And that hasn't been seen lately, right? They've struggled a little bit. You can still win games and struggle. Green Bay struggled against the Browns, still pulled off a victory. I'm not satisfied with it. Cowboys beat the Giants last week. They didn't look too great. They beat them 21-6. They did not look too great. But it's a win. So you move on and try and get better. The real test will be the Cardinals this week. The Cardinals have been kind of sizzling off on how good they are. But this will be the matchup that we look forward to. We marked on the calendar. Me and Jeff marked on the calendar. This is the game that's going to prove to us if you're for real. This is the team this is the one good, not the one good team. He plays some good teams, but this is the game against a real competitor to see how well you do for the Dallas Cowboys. And look, I think I'm probably going to pick the Cowboys to win. They're at home. The Cardinals are sizzling off. I'll probably pick Dallas to win. I could see it going either way. This game's kind of a coin flip to me, but they both got a good defense. They both have a good offense. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, when they are playing it to their ability, they have better offense than the Cardinals. They have better weapons than the Cardinals. So I'm looking forward to that matchup this week. Let's see if the Cowboys can come back out and be consistent. I'm expecting them to be so consistent that they beat the Cardinals 56-14. No. The Cardinals are better than Washington. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt. The Cowboys looked really well, really, really good on Sunday night. That's the team that their fan base wants to see show up in the playoffs. Will that be the same team? We'll have to wait and find out. But kudos to the Cowboys. Look, I've always said this, a good team, you don't make your schedule, right? You don't pick your division. So I give my buddies a hell about the Cowboys being in the easy division. You have the easy division. So that's easy wins. just like the Patriots for the longest time had 6 wins a year, or at least 5. They go 5-1. Be like, how did they lose to Miami? Because their division was so bad. Good teams win handily against bad teams, like the Cowboys just did, and good teams find ways to win the games they're not supposed to. That's what they do. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, you just beat the Washington football team. They beat them handily. They handled their job. They showed up and they did their job. They murdered a team on live TV, and it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. The Dolphins. Let's jump into Monday Night Football here. The Dolphins win 20-7 versus the Saints' third-string rookie quarterback. Horrible game. That didn't even watch it. I knew it was gonna be a horrible game. Horrible game. The over-under was like 32 points. That's how bad they knew this game was going to be. 2 things that the Dolphins could do here one, they've already done. Dolphins are the first team in NFL history to lose 7 straight games and then win 7 straight. They started off 1-0, and then they lost 7 straight games. So they went 1-0 to 1-7. Now they're 8-7. They won 7 straight. They're the first team in NFL history to do that. They could become the only team to start 1-7 and make the playoffs in NFL history. We have not seen that done. I think it happens. They pretty much control their destiny. If they win the next 2 games, they're in. I think they will. I think they make it. I don't even know who they're playing, and I think they make it. I think they make the playoffs. That's kind of cool to go from 1-7 to making the playoffs, and that's not 1-7, and you eked out 3 more wins in a horrible division. You barely made it in. That's you won. You're on a winning streak. You finished off with a winning record. Kudos to them. Kudos to the coach staff to not let them get down on themselves at 1-7. To not let, because that's easy. At 1-7, you could have said, "What's the point?" Right? You could have bounced. You could have bounced out big time, but you didn't. And kudos. That's huge for this coach staff to Mike Flores to not let his team lose momentum, lose motivation, and just bounce out early. And that's kudos to them. And they've won 7 straight games. They are 8-7, and that's your weekly recap there. Let's see what happened in the playoff picture as we went over that last week. Some teams have changed. You still got the Packers and Chiefs at number 1 in AFC and NFC. The NFC has clinched. These teams have clinched the playoffs. Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Bucks, and Cardinals. Okay. Those teams have all clinched a playoff spot. Now, depending on the Rams and the Cardinals, who's going to win their division, who's going to be the number 1 seed, that's still yet to be seen. If Green Bay loses and the Cowboys win out, the Cowboys could be the number 1 seed. So we still have to win out to lock in that number 1 seed. And, the Dallas Cowboys, number 2 seed, the Rams at 3, Bucks at 4, and the Cardinals at 5. In the hunt, you got the 49ers at 6, the Eagles at 7, and then on the bubble, you got everybody else. The Vikings are right there. They lost this last week, and they got the Packers next week. So they are going to be on desperation mode. They want to play spoiler for Green Bay, bounce them out of that first round spot. So that's a game that I'm looking forward to. I think it'll be a good game. I'm not going to say we're going to win because Vikings always play us really hard, and they beat us earlier in the beginning of the year. Now we should have won that game, but we started off so slow, we had no chance to come back. In the AFC, the Chiefs is the only one that's clinched the playoffs. They're number 1 seed. In the hunt, you got the Titans at number 2. They just beat the 49ers. You got the Bengals at 3, Bills at 4. After beating the Patriots, they bounced. They jumped from 6 to 4. The Colts at 5, Patriots at 6, and Miami at 7. On the bubble, you got the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Ravens. And you got Steelers, you got everyone else, but you got Steelers, and you got the Browns and the Broncos. But I am excited, guys. I'm excited for these playoffs. I am excited to see the playoff push that we got, and this is one of the most exciting ones that I can remember in a really long time on the playoffs, and every game matters, and who's going to get the first seed, and everyone going in. I think this season the NFC is the powerhouse. Now, yes, the Chiefs are looking really good, but I'm not really too scared of everyone else in that division. Derrick Henry might be back for the Tennessee Titans. Um, that'll be interesting to see if he can give them that late season push into the Super Bowl. But the NFC is where it's at. I think. Any team, the Packers, Cowboys, Rams, and Tampa Bay are my four teams that I think could win the Super Bowl. And hopefully it's the Packers, but we'll have to wait and see there. Um, that's your Week 16 recap. You got the playoff talk here and who changed from last week and going up and down. NFC's pretty much wrapped up as far as who's clinched. We still got teams on the bubble in the mix. We got the whole AFC still up in the air except the number one spot and the Chiefs after they clinched their division. So look forward to watching those games this weekend. It's been one heck of a week for me. Christmas. Hope your Christmas was fantastic. Christmas was great for us. We made sausage balls the night before I got home from work. We had a lot of stuff to do, and we make sausage balls every Christmas morning. It's one of my traditions that we do, and we made those and set them in the fridge so we could start. And then Friday night, Christmas Eve, we usually get the girls to bed, or we watch a Christmas movie real early, get the girls to bed. My mom usually lays down with them, and me and the wife will spend all night wrapping gifts, however long it takes, put them under the tree, do all that, and then go to bed. And we usually set an alarm, wake up in the morning, and open presents and get the sausage balls cooking. And so it's just fantastic. The girls got what they wanted. We got a lot of stuff since we moved into a new house this year. We've got a lot of stuff for their room. Santa Claus brought a lot of stuff for their room and to decorate that. And we got them a play kitchen. I mean, this is a heavy duty play kitchen, all wooden pieces. We spent about 2 hours putting it together and over 60 something pieces. It was not as bad as putting together an IKEA item, but it was pretty close. The directions were just pictures. There's no words. It's just pictures. You're trying to guess on which direction things go. But we got that put together and they loved it. And so we do Christmas Eve with my brother, my middle brother, Cole. We do Christmas Eve with him and his family. And he brought over some pulled pork and some brisket and or some roast this year. And we ate some good food. And then we made meatloaf for Christmas Day. My other brother and my older brother come over. And we had our good friend of the family, Amber and Logan, over and her mom. And who I call mom number two, and we just hung out and spent time together. It was a great time. We played cornhole out back. It's 83 degrees on Christmas. It was the hottest Christmas in Texas history, or in Fort Worth history, whatever. And so that was our Christmas. It was fantastic. And we spend New Year's with my brother-in-law or my brother-in-law's house usually, and we had my wife's family get together and we do white elephant gifts and the kids get presents from our nieces and nephews, and there's over 26 children, nieces and nephews and grandchildren or whatever on her side. And I was looking forward to it, right? Well, COVID has struck her brother-in-law's house, and so we're now hosting it this weekend. So I went from relaxing and going over to his house and kind of chilling to now hosting it. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of people. I'll be at work on Friday when they're doing some stuff, but when I get home, enjoying the festivities and hang out on Saturday as well. So looking forward to the family time. I'm not looking forward to the hosting part, but that's all right. It's when we got this house and I love her family, and hopefully we can do it safely where no one else gets sick. But that being said, guys, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. Hope you have a fantastic New Year's. I know at the end of the year, you kind of look back upon everything that's happened during the year for you. and it can be bad, it can be good, it can be in between. 2020 sucked for everybody. I think 2021, I hear a lot of people it sucked for, but this year we bought a brand new house, so it was one of the highlights of my life, I guess. I'm 33 years old, but buying our first house this year has been fantastic. We love it, and owning our own house and have a house um, big enough for everyone to come over and hang out is great and fantastic, and we love it. And so that's been something that's made this year a great year for us. And sometimes it can take one big thing to do so, and sometimes it can take a couple small things to put that over the end of the year. And it's time to come up with New Year's resolutions. And I think you know I'm always bad at keeping those. I'm like, oh, we need to do better this. We need to be better at this, and then you most by February you're already like done with it. But I really want to strive to do better at certain things and better myself. And I want to write goals down. I think if you write goals down and look at them every day, then you know what you're know what you're working towards. So, that's my challenge for you guys this week is go get you a whiteboard, put it on the wall and write your goals that you want to achieve for next year. Maybe goals you want to achieve weekly, daily. By the end of the year, you want to have this amount of money saved up, or by the end of the year, you want to be better at doing this or that, or lose weight's a big one on a lot of people's boards, mine including. I need to lose weight, get healthier, eat healthier, and meal prep better, and do things that I know I need to do better so I can live a better and healthier life for my family. Go write it on your window, on your mirror in your bathroom. We write little notes to each other all the time with the not permanent marker, but the marker you use on whiteboards. You can mark on the mirror, mark those goals down, and so you see them every day. I think that helps a lot, and that's something that I'm going to do. And I actually have a glass whiteboard right here behind the computer if I need to write stuff down on to remind me to do certain things. But that's my challenge to you is to go think of some goals that you want to set for yourself for next year, write them down and look at them every day and kind of work towards that. And but that's all I got for you guys. We will not have an episode this weekend because, like I said, we're hosting the Potts family, and it's going to be a fantastic time. But there will not be an episode on Friday. All right, guys. Well, be safe. Make good decisions this weekend, and enjoy your time off from work. Enjoy your time with family. Enjoy the New Year's, counting the new year together with family, and be safe, guys. God bless you.